I think minds are changed over a cup of coffee, over a cake in one of my places. When you can have this sort of one-to-one conversation and talk to people around fairness and inclusivity in a very personal way, because I think then you start to win people over and you get people to think about their biases, because we all have them. It's just about understanding that we've got them and then seeking to do something about it, isn't it?
Hi, I'm Jason. I'm the CEO of Lagkagehuset, and I'm here in Christianshavn today, the site of our very first bakery, to have a great conversation with Benjamin.
My name is Benjamin, and I'm the Managing Director of Copenhagen 2021 WorldPride and EuroGames. I'm super excited to talk to Jason today about how they work in Lagkagehuset with inclusivity and diversity, and how we together as business and Pride can collaborate.
I wonder if we could start with a question that's been bothering me for a while, and that's how our acronym has grown over the last few years.
The acronym only came up, as you said, it started with LGB. Later on, it put on the T and then the plus, and then since it have evolved. And there's still a lot also in the community, both debate and nuances to the acronym. What I tend to do is use community instead. I think the most important thing when we talk acronym and how you address people is if they say, I would like you to address me like this, to be acceptive about it, and also every time you add someone, add a letter, there's someone else feeling excluded.
Yeah.
So it's also finding a balance where it's an acronym that is usable and has as many people included. I would say go with community, and then you encompass all of it.
One of the questions that always comes up at this time of year is, what's the role for corporates and companies like mine in supporting Pride, and why do you need us?
If we take a very pragmatic approach, of course we can change business. We can say if you want to be a part of Pride, you need to have an inclusion policy. You'll have to actively work with us on how we can make change together. And especially with smaller businesses where we can do that. With big business also comes money. So for us, we can use that money to help around the world, first of all, but also to use money to create stages for people in the community, to have people making concerts and art installations who wouldn't have a stage normally. For a couple of years, Lagkagehuset has supported Copenhagen Pride, and again this year you're supporting WorldPride and EuroGames. So why are you doing it?
We're a customer-facing organisation, so clearly, we serve everybody without discrimination. Therefore, why wouldn't we take a stance in all of these kind of places? I think when I look inside of our business, sometimes we're not as diverse as I would like us to be. So I think, like all organisations, we've got work to do. But I think by taking a stance as the leader of the business, but also making public our support of events like Pride, it gives permission, doesn't it, for people to say, oh, actually, maybe there is a place for me, either as a customer or as a member of our team.
And I think it's a very, very important point that addressing the problem, acknowledging that we're not as diverse as we want to be. Yeah. To say, okay, then we can actually set some goals, communicate those goals, communicate, okay, we really want to work with this and we know that we could do better. You are included is a phrase and a tag that we can use to try and work to include everyone. We have worked with that very actively, and I know you're also working with it. And in a workplace, there's like very specific things you can do, have an inclusion council, but also celebrate people, celebrate diversity. The next step is to educate the managers and the different shops so that they can exude that to every aspect of the business.
As I've gone through my career, kind of being public and vocal about those things not being a barrier to sort of progressing in an organisation, I think is really important. Just being visible, and for me, it's things like talking about my husband, and in a very public setting, is just gives license to all of the other kind of things around behaviour.
That approach is very important, both for your employees, but also for business leaders in general. It's important to have people going in front and being vocal and open. It also is taking an active standpoint when saying, if we want to include all, it's also not saying, yeah, fine, everybody is included. It's actively saying, we don't discriminate anyone. We want to include everyone.
I love that broader definition of inclusivity as well, because I think that it's very easy to become sort of siloed in our thinking about the LGBT plus community, or whether we're talking about ethnicity or religion, or I think that in all sort of countries around the world are these kind of conversations going on there about how do we almost be anti something rather than just say we're inclusive. It's actually we're fighting for something that is about everybody getting a fair treatment by society in the broadest sense. We've got WorldPride here in Copenhagen this year. What can I expect? What's going to be different?
We'll have the biggest ever human rights conference in Scandinavia. We'll have 20 plus EuroGames tournaments. We'll have the biggest ever culture program of a WorldPride.
Sounds like you've tried to strike a balance between genuine lobbying and seeking to make a difference, as well as the fact that it will be an amazing time to be in the city.
Pride should be a party. Pride should be the party where people from the community can be who they are, party who they are, have fun with peers. And to create that space is super, super important. And then on the other side, we also have the activism, the protests, the marches, the lobbying of politicians, and inviting them in, and not just lobbying towards them, but inviting them into dialogue. We have all of the higher levels, both in Denmark and around the world, so we can create actual change while we create a fun party for people that wouldn't have it normally.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely.